Yep, you read the title right, how to use a hairbrush. I know this may seem like common sense, and sometimes I feel like it should be, but there's a few things you should know about using a hairbrush that really can make or break the whole thing. Literally, it could break your hair. So this is a vent brush. This is an anti-static vent brush. I do sell this brush on my website, shop.thesalonguy.com. Use code YouTube20 for 20% off. This has a rubber grip handle. Why is that important? It's because you actually have a better grip on it. All right, it doesn't slip. If this was just full plastic, the grip would slip all the time. So the grip on this, it gives you a much more control while handling the brush. Is that important? Yes, it's very important, especially if you're a professional, especially if you brush your hair all the time. Now, when it comes to brushing your hair, if you're brushing your hair while it's wet, okay, when the hair is wet, it's at its most kind of, the elasticity of it is at its max. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, especially on longer hair, what you're doing is you could actually put your hair maybe in like a little ponytail with your hand and lightly work from the ends down like this. And then you can work from underneath like this, okay? And then you can section the hair off like that, and then start from the mid-lengths down to the ends while the hair is wet. I also highly suggest using my 25 spray because it's an amazing detangler and it's got 25 benefits to it. Well, 24 others, because one of them is detangling. The most incredible detangler you'll ever use with added nutrients and benefits for your hair. Spray this in after you're out of the shower, after you're done washing your hair. Use this, and then you can comb through and it'll help the brush will glide through the knots like they've never existed before. Even on really thick, wiry, kinky, knotty hair, it just gets rid of it. So work down from the mid shaft here down to the ends, especially when your hair is wet. Another trick, if you're in the shower and you have conditioner in your hair, especially if it's longer or even short hair, doesn't matter. While the conditioner is in your hair, and if you've got a lot of hair, I don't suggest it for fine hair, but if you've got a ton of hair, I would suggest combing the conditioner through all the way to the ends so it really covers the entire hair shaft from the scalp to the ends. You're really getting really good coverage, all right? So as you can see, we're able to really get through the knots much easier. If you want to brush your hair on dry hair, okay, on dry hair, you're going to actually see a lot more hair coming out into the brush. Don't get freaked out because we lose, hundreds of hairs a day that come out, some more, some less, but it happens naturally. The hair, you could be shedding, it could be just some breakage in your hair, but it's very natural. It does not mean you're losing your hair. If you see abundant amounts of hair, like it's like, whoa, major clumps, maybe something's wrong, go see a doctor, I don't know. But if your hair is dry and you're looking to comb through it, if you start combing from the top of your head like this and start pushing down, what's gonna happen is you're gonna start to create a big knot in one area, especially if you've got longer hair, and I've seen it. Never, ever use a hair cutting comb or a simple comb to brush out longer hair. It will become knot city. You'll create the biggest knots, you'll get tangles, it'll be an absolute nightmare. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the best brushes, or like a wide tooth comb. But the thing about a wide tooth comb is it separates the hair so much. This actually really gets the knots out. So start once again from the bottom and work your way up, and then you can gradually go onto the scalp like this. All right, let's turn this head around like this. You can see, again, start with the mid shafts down here and the ends, get the knots out this way, then work your way up to the scalp, and then you'll be able to brush through it. Now, do not scrape on the scalp, do not rough it up like this. Just be very cautious and be gentle. You can see, look, it goes right through. You don't need a whole bunch of yanking and scraping and pulling. If you do have tons of knots, then you may have to be a little more aggressive, okay? And then the final tip, this is probably a lifesaver here, is I always press down on the scalp like this, because what I'm doing is I'm actually combing the hair down and I'm not allowing that hair to be pulled or ripped from the scalp, right? So in through here, if I'm gonna comb on the ends, I'm gonna hold this like this, keep that pressure on the scalp. This way I can just really focus in one targeted area and then work my way down like that. It's also less painful. If you start ripping from the scalp like this, it's gonna be very, very painful. And for all of you who have longer hair, you know how much, believe it or not, it's very painful when you start pulling and yanking on the hair. It just really hurts at the scalp. So what I like to do is just put my hand down on the scalp so I'm not pulling the hair there yet, and I'm just working my way gradually to where you almost don't even feel it. And you should have no knots throughout the entire head. Once again, use code YouTube20, that's YouTube20 at shop.thesalonguy.com. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, I'd love to know. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.